Welcome into Pin It Deep. I am a very hoarse Max Duffy after a few big days, so bear with me with the voice. Thankfully, it was all there for Brad White. Got that coming up for you guys in about 15 or so minutes. But Miles, the Kentucky Wildcats are number 8 in the country. Eight. How good's that?
I mean, it's pretty good.
There could be 7 better spots.
Yeah,
but it's pretty good.
It's the 8th best one.
Is that the highest we've ever been ranked?
I haven't seen that, which makes me think it's not, but I can't think of a time.
I want to say we got...
Here we go.
Oh, unbelievable.
Cincinnati Bengals.
As soon as we start.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Keep going. We're fine.
I think maybe we got to 7. I want to say we got to 7. I want to say we were 8 when Florida came to town in 2007.
Okay.
So I think we're getting close. I can't confirm that, but I want to say we were maybe higher in 2018.
There's a different spirit around the team this year, though. You can see it. Because you're beating teams 31-0. It's its first shutout since
2009 against Miami of Ohio.
And most of the coverage is negative.
Uh-huh.
Offensive line isn't looking great.
Yeah.
We're not running the ball that well. You just shut somebody out. Stoops is a stud.
Fumbling a lot.
We're blowing teams out like we should. We're blowing Florida out, which South Florida almost did the same thing, but that's...
Yeah, number 8 in the country is not a bad place to be struggling along a little bit as a team.
There's only 7 above. There's a way more below.
You do sound a little off.
Do I?
No, we don't have to restart it. Maybe we can switch in the middle of the podcast, or is it just the feedback through my thing?
I think he sounds okay.
Okay.
Like it's not rattling in your ear?
You want me to yell? I can yell.
Oh, that's just my headphones. All right.
Okay.
Man, we are being men doing what they have to do doing this podcast today. We are piecing it together with tape. Just
Tape.
We're watching the tape.
What do you mean with tape?
Just it's been a rough few days for all of us, I believe. Max
performed live Kings of Leon Friday night. They didn't show up, so Max just took the stage, and he was the act for an hour and a half.
My voice was so good.
Is that why it's bad right now?
We even had a lady in the crowd turn around and tell him, hey, can you not sing? Because I kind of came to see them sing. I told them to stop singing and let Max just sing alone.
Me and Miles have done, for the people listening, Friday night, for Friday afternoon, Bourbon and Beyond, to getting back at the house at about 1-ish, to waking up at 6, driving here to do the pregame radio. Which involved beers from 8 a.m.
I did not do the radio.
Straight into the suite at the game, to more drinking. Back to Miles's house, more drinking. And then out last night till about 2:30. And then into this pod.
I don't think I haven't drank at all any of those times. So
it's tough.
It's tough for...
it's been
tough.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Been a big weekend. Look... we loved the auditions last week. We want to see more, so make sure you can retweet this pod and give your 1-minute audition if you want a chance to come on this show at the end of the year. They were really great. We obviously had Brett Wainscock, which was unbelievable from Andy E.
Jeez.
And then Randy put in about 3 or 4 that he kept deleting and reposting. Yep. Miles, he did one in honor of you on his bathroom toilet. So
no better place to do a podcast than on a toilet.
There's no doubt.
Killing two birds,
one stone.
That's it.
Yep.
That's the phrase.
If you haven't seen Andy E's and Randy's, make sure you go on to the podcast tweet and look at the quote tweets. They're up there. It's awesome. Youngstown State, Miles, tell me something that you learned.
What did I learn? That the defense is as good as advertised. I don't think people give it enough credit how hard it is to shut someone out in college football. Which they did get close the one drive, and then they threw the pick in the end zone.
Yep.
But other than that, we didn't let them even scratch points, not even close most of the day. The defense throwing a 0 on the board, that was extremely, extremely promising. And I think going forward, if the offensive line doesn't pick it up, we may even get into some of the 2018 Josh Allen, let's win a game 17-14, but we can do that.
Is Brad White the best DC in the country at the moment?
Yes.
So we just had the best DC in the country on our podcast for 40 minutes.
Yes,
sure did.
He talked to us.
How good is that?
Yep.
We asked him questions.
I talked to him for a little bit last night too.
Yeah.
When you get to the Brad White
It'll be much better than this.
It will, and it will be. It's hilarious the start. So make sure if you don't quite understand what's happening at the start, go and watch the YouTube video. We put the YouTube out because his face was absolutely hilarious when we asked him what position Brent used to play on the team.
Spoiler alert.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
Spoiler
alert.
Yeah. I'll give you my thoughts on the Youngstown State game. I think obviously the positives and the negatives seem to be pretty consistent each week. Our defense is obviously really, really good. Our O-line continues to struggle. I see we're giving up the most sacks in all of the SEC. And, even against the Youngstown State D-line, we were getting smoked. So
a lot of third down sacks.
That's
the biggest thing I've noticed this year.
We've kind of worked out the kind of team we're going to be and how we're going to have to win games. And it looks like at the moment we're just going to have to lean on our defense. And then, we still scored 31 points, but it was only Youngstown State. I really wanted us to put up points. What we kind of haven't been doing a whole lot this year that we seemed to have almost every game last year was that. Now I know we had it against Florida. I get that, but that deep shot, we haven't seemed to really have that so far this year. I think you look back at. Who did we play in the first game of the season last year when Will was just throwing 4 or 5 massive deep shots?
Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah. I thought we'd be able to do that to a Youngstown State team, but we weren't able to. But it is what it is. I think the O-line's going to have to find a way to be better. Obviously, Tayshawn Manning was out yesterday, which could have contributed to it, but we got to find a way to be better and find a way to be able to run the ball because we struggled again. We got a little bit better in the second half, but we did struggle. So, Brent, what do you think?
It obviously will help when Chris comes back just because obviously the O-line, a running back can't make up for a bad O-line, but he doesn't ever get tackled for negative plays.
Yep.
That's one of the biggest things for him, so that will help. But, it's one of those things where we've learned to be able to trust Stoops, and he says he's not really concerned about the O-line. These are all things that can get fixed, but we're 3 weeks into the season. You got one more tune-up game before you get into the SEC grind of Ole Miss, Mississippi State, South Carolina, 3 in a row. Clock's ticking to get that figured out.
I thought Will was great yesterday. 2 picks, but it was one of those games I felt like where you were watching it and you're like, offense isn't doing that great. And then I think it was late third quarter. It just popped up and it was he's 23 of 27. Just really efficient.
That first pick should have been a defensive holding, by the way.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But for most of the game, he was really efficient and really on time on his throws.
The thing that I've enjoyed most about him this year is his ability to throw the ball away when he's needed to and try not. We've still taken a lot of sacks, but it hasn't been from him, running around and getting taken down. He's been able to throw the ball away when we've needed to and protect the football and kind of, I only threw 2 picks yesterday, but the picks haven't super been, terrible passes. It's just been something that's happened. So I think we've just got to find a way for this O-line to stand up somehow. We saw Mississippi State get smoked yesterday. It looks like we might have a really, really good draw. The teams that we weren't sure how they were going to be. LSU obviously lost to Florida State week 1, so you wouldn't think that they're that great. Then they went and tore apart Mississippi State. So maybe Mississippi State isn't that great. South Carolina does not look good. Did they score yesterday against Georgia?
Yes, I think. Let me check. I think they scored late, but it wasn't anything. Yeah, 48-7.
They're just simply not good.
They're just not good. I think, Tennessee blew out Akron. It's going to be us, Tennessee, and Georgia, obviously. They're the 2 big games. It looks like we might be able to take care of us, particularly at home against Mississippi State too. So I think there's a couple of issues, but if we can get those sorted out, there's no reason why we can't have a top 10 finish this year, which would be pretty cool and pretty awesome, and maybe see us go to a real nice bowl game.
A New Year's Six bowl would be, I think it's got us projected up there, doesn't it? Like us in Oklahoma or something along those lines?
Something, yeah.
Something that would be, to get that kind of stage, and Stoops, he's going to win the bowl games. He doesn't lose those. To get another stage like that and deliver would be great.
Well, we'll go ahead and get straight into Brad White, the best defensive coordinator in the country. Look after our voices. Here is Brad White.
All right, we've got Coach White with us here, probably the best DC in the country right now. We appreciate his time. He even brought us coffees today, which was very, very nice of you. Actually, you said, Miles, unlucky you're not getting one. Is that true?
You know what? Starbucks can't get my money for black coffee. They can get it for lattes and fancy stuff. But
I think it was a shot at you as a kicker, Miles, to be honest.
Fine.
I think he thought back to the day and just said, he's not worthy.
That used to be my favorite thing to do, was come up in the facility and get free coffee. I don't even know if we were allowed to do that as players, but I love the coffee in there, so it's all good.
We like to ask a question because we like to show the closeness of the group here. We always start off with this. We've asked it to every current former and player, and then every coach. We go to about 80% right now.
It's impressive how many usually get it.
Yeah.
It just takes them a minute.
So you'd not remember me, obviously former punter. Remember Miles, former kicker. Brent, obviously a walk-on for a year. What position was he a walk-on in?
The look on his face right now.
The wheels are turning.
They are turning.
He's going to get it because he knows it's not his side of the ball.
He never played. He was never here.
Nah, don't worry.
You guys are setting me up. All right, there we go. I was like, well, it might be before my time. Hey.
Sorry, Coach.
Yeah,
we just thought we had to
you
sneak
guys,
that one
that's
in.
good.
I'm just here for the ride.
All right. You're not saying this. We're saying this. Clearly the best DC in the country right now. When you look back through when you played, of all the stuff that you've been through, coaching the Colts, Murray State, Wake, here, how rewarding is it to – I know you're just probably going to give the stock stand answer, but how rewarding is it to, beat a team like Florida, get all the national recognition, everyone's talking about the defense. How rewarding is that to you as a person that set out on a goal, and obviously you still want to keep reaching it, but how rewarding is that to you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody has ambitions and everybody has goals, and to take the steps necessary to get close to where you want to be. And obviously as a defense, we still have a ways to go. We had one good performance. We talk about it all the time. Listen, they're going to love you here, for a second, and all it takes is one bad performance, and everybody, a lot of people jump off the bandwagon. Not most people in the Big Blue Nation will be supportive throughout, but just the national recognition, it's that knee-jerk reaction to a lot of things. And, I think a lot, there was that sort of hype around Florida, right?
Mm-hmm.
That just quick knee-jerk reaction, and then, something happens, and now they're going to say, are they as good as a team? Yeah, they're a really good football team, but so are we, and I think we proved that, at least on that night, we were the better football team. But it's rewarding for me to know where I started, and sort of when I got into profession, left the business world, took that leap of faith to go back and be a GA and say, all right, see where this thing's going to take me to be where I am now. A lot of people have helped me on the way, and so it's rewarding.
I know you probably don't want to get into it too much. I've made comments about it on this show about how there's been perfect timing of the Calipari comment and then the Roman Harper comment. How much was that used in the locker room, and how much does that help a team like us, which I think in my opinion, we're more of a chip on the shoulder team than a front runner team?
Yeah, I think, that's an interesting comment, because I think we're starting to get up to a point, because I would have agreed with you in the past that I think we always sort of have to play with a chip on our shoulder. And I think we're starting to turn that corner to where, hey, listen, if you want to be a team that's consistently at the top, you have to learn how to play with a target on your back. And everything can't be the underdog chip on the shoulder. Like, at some point, that mindset has to flip, and you're going to be thought of as the favorite. And trust me, does it help? Yeah. I think anytime a competitor is given a little extra fuel, a little extra chip, like, they play with that. And I think the great ones always find a way to put a chip on the shoulder. And so even in the midst of getting patted on the back and told how, good you are in the moment and stuff, go back and find something that you didn't do well the week before. Go back and find something that, hey, listen, something that gives you just that edge, because as soon as you lose an edge, it's funny when you look in the worldwide sports. I remember growing up and thinking, how does Tiger always do it, right? Because to me, he's like the ultimate competitor in like verse himself. He's got to be a verse himself every time he stepped on the golf course. Because he knew he was just better than everybody else. And at some point, you're like, okay, do you get tired of winning? And he always found a way to play with an edge. And I think that's what our guys have to do going forward. But those little comments, I think, do they help? Absolutely, they help.
Talk about playing with an edge. We set the edge pretty well on Saturday night. I'm great at my little lead-ins. Could you in your wildest dreams have thought that you would keep Anthony Richardson to 4 rushing yards?
No.
What did you do? Everyone had said before the game, it's not if, it's when he's going to break for a big one. He probably breaks for a couple during the game, and we kept him to 4. Is that just all you?
No, that was very little me. I stood on the sideline like the rest of everybody else, just watching our guys out there. So, and that's.
Do you ever just go, great play call there, great play call?
No, I'll kick myself for a bad play call. But there are, I tell our guys, there's no great play calls. I mean, I make bad play calls that the guys dig me out of. There are times that I feel like I made a great play call, but if it's not executed right, it's a terrible one. So at the end of the day, it's got very little to do with me, in terms of, I'll try to put the guys in the best spots possible, but they've got to go make plays. And on Saturday they did.
The old Coach Stoops, you called the play. That one.
Yeah.
We were sitting here in the coffee shop before, and I was kind of patting you on the back myself, saying how good the performance was, especially in the second half. And you even said that 4th and 7, though. They got us a little bit. We almost had it. Just demanding excellence. That's unbelievable. That's the one play that you remember. Do you have would you take any play calling tips from us? I think we've got a couple suggestions for some new defensive calls.
I absolutely.
Or schemes.
See,
schemes, yes.
Yeah, well, schemes and calls. I told Mr. Barnhart at one of our kickoff deals that for the spring game, when I was walking in for the spring game, I saw a couple of young fans, how to be 6, 7, 8 years old. And I asked the first one, I said, hey, what do you want the first play today to be? Do you want it to be a zone or a blitz? Or he's like, how about a blitz? I said, okay. And then so the first 2 play calls of the spring game were actually made by young fans as I was walking in.
We won't release that in case you want to lose your job to the 6-year-old kids. So we will cut that out.
You can put that out again. The spring game's a little bit different.
Just like on the UK network, have a poll for the fans.
Yeah.
What should we call, like an Ask Madden type deal? Let's do that.
Just running.
What's your first suggestion there, Miles?
Quarterbacks don't like pressure. It gets in their head.
Okay.
Bring all 11.
All 11?
All of them.
I think that would be confusing to them.
Yeah, it would shock them. I don't know if anyone's ever ran that. And then you could run the decoy, which is the second play. All 11 on the line, drop 11.
Now, as silly as that sounds, when we were in...
We're doing it this week.
Yeah, he's like, how'd you know? How'd you know that was coming?
When we were in Indianapolis one time, now we were going to have a drop 8, just rush 3, and then one of our guys got confused, so we ended up dropping 9 and only rushed 2, and we got a sack.
So keep dropping more. Perfect.
I mean, you talk about every zone was clogged. The queue was like, what in the world? And then
turnovers kill you. What about just punt on first down on our offense? Just get some field position and then back in the defense.
Hey, you laugh. I am a huge fan of, like, if you're in a situation where you're way backed up, if you've got, like, say you've got a really talented quarterback that can punt, like on third down, they've got their defense, especially a pressure team that's going to quick snap, punt it out. I mean,
get the roll.
That'd be huge. And I guarantee the defensive guys would be confused. Somebody tries to pick it up, bobbles it. You might get.
Yeah.
You never know.
If you take these ideas into the team meeting today with Stoops, you don't have to credit us. You can just act like you came up with it yourself.
All right, so the deal is, if I if they work, you're
Yes.
going to air this,
Correct.
and then you'll take credit.
Yes.
If it doesn't work, you'll cut this segment out, and then
It's all
on
on
you.
you. It's all on you.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
You mentioned
See, that's
Stoops.
smart. That's
You
good coaching, right?
That is. How much does he interfere in your? How much? Well, when I say interfere, how much does he contribute
Well, he
to the
definitely interferes
defensive
in the coffee
scheme?
line at Starbucks. He definitely cuts you off sometimes in the morning.
How much does he contribute, and how many times are you? You know, what do you think? What are we going to do here during a game?
No, it's awesome to have, you know, that sounding board, you know, where where I can bounce something off and say, hey, what do you think right here? And, you know, he can, you know, he'll give his 2 cents, which, again, obviously years of coordinating on defense, you know, I take that really seriously. And so, no, it's a really good game day, you know, sort of relationship bouncing back and forth. And, you know, if there's a critical down and we're sort of trying to go back and forth, and he'll say, hey, trust your gut, you know, and that's something
Mm-hmm.
you know, people don't realize how much I appreciate that. Like, it's like, okay, you know, make the call that you think's the best here, and let's go.
Got two more serious football questions before we move on to some lighthearted stuff. We talked about leading up into the season, maybe some question marks on the team. One of the ones that we threw up as a possibility would be when they throw our DBs on an island. We obviously had some new DBs coming in, and then also Carrington had maybe shown some vulnerabilities in the past. They stood up big time on Saturday. How's their progression going, and what do you see for them, I guess, going into the rest of the season?
Yeah, let's start with Carrington. Is you saw the confidence level building through spring. To have an entire year out there in the SEC, first-year starter, you know, you're going to have good plays and you're going to have bad plays. Let's just be honest. And it's no different than the rest of us. I had good calls and bad calls my first year, you know, as a coordinator, and I still have bad calls. And you know, players are going to have bad plays. But the confidence level that he can rebound so much quicker, it's at a different level. And you saw that first game. You know, there's a couple of PI calls that one. I think everybody would say that, you know,
Unlucky.
Yeah. Unlucky, and that he can put that behind him and he can go back and he can challenge. And I thought he had a really good second game here at Florida, and you could just look in his eyes, and at one point on the sideline he's like, Coach, I've got this. And I said, all right. And so on that fourth down, I mean, he's out on a complete island because just the coverage that we were playing, if it's caught, it's going to be a touchdown. So not only does he have to make it, he's got to make it, like, so if he doesn't get the PBU, he's got to secure the tackle.
Miles, what's PBU stand for? Just real quick. What do you think?
Pass breakup.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
No, that's
Well, Carrington said you were, in this week in some media availability, said you were a wizard. I mean, I know that you like to give all the players the credit and everything. Like, I mean, if you have them under a spell, I mean, you can just let us know.
well,
Hocus pocus.
well, my wife is a huge Harry Potter fan.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow, he's revealing his tricks.
Yeah, so I mean, after watching all 7 of those movies, like I feel like I've got a spell. Or
What
two.
about Key John? What's he brought to the team?
You know what? He is just so smart, so savvy, really good ball skills, and he really is he's a very composed player. You know, one of those guys that, you know, just nothing seems to rattle him. Good play, bad play. I mean, the pick six, you know, he's on the sideline, he's got a smile on his face, but it's not like this crazy, you know, overarching celebration. It's like, okay, I better sit down, get my water, because we're going right back out. So that's to have that, because Carrington, he's more of an emotional player, and that's a good thing too, you know. But you just have to find a happy medium on both sides, and I think they really complement each other. So it's been, again, I think, like you said, everybody's had questions about it. I saw it in fall camp that I thought we would be solid there. Now we're only 2 games in, but if we can continue to build on this, you know, this success, I think we'll be in good shape.
The celebrations. I've always wondered this. no, obviously was never even in an offensive meeting, definitely not in a defensive meeting. This, when the ball's just been overthrown and they haven't done anything, do you ever bring that up and go, hey, you realize that you had nothing to do with that pass breakup, right?
Oh, absolutely. We had a former player who's not on the team that used to do it a lot, and we used to joke about that. Like he would be the first one, even if somebody else made it, like across the field. It was like, and we're like, well, at least we got an extra referee on the field, I guess, to help.
He would start doing it even when we had incomplete passes on our side.
I think it's trained now, where, you go to a punting coach, right, or, a kicking coach or quarterback gurus now, and now they have DB trainers, they go for footwork and all that stuff. And I think that's like lesson one, even before the footwork. Hey, win, lose, or draw. If the ball hits the ground.
Yeah. And for those of you listening on podcasts, it's the no-fly zone.
You caused it. So, but it's good. So they're brought up early. It's kind of like when a defensive lineman jumps off sides, we teach them to point at the offense. Like they
just
move.
To see if maybe they'll fall for it.
Maybe
Who
they'll
knows?
fall for this guy moved.
One that's been big on our team too recently is this one. Cubo Hanna, I think, started this one. Is that something that you guys bring up?
Yes, because sometimes the way the finger wag happens too soon, because we've got a couple of times over the last couple of years on tape where we're wagging and the ball carrier isn't actually down.
He's in the end zone.
He's not in the end zone, thank goodness, but he's not actually down. So you got to make sure before you celebrate that the play is officially over. But those are some moments that you teaching moments.
Something we used to joke about in the specialist room, and Coach House actually used to do the same thing. Every team meeting, you all would introduce the opponent's offense and defense. You come up for the team's offense to kind of give us a quick glimpse of what they're going to do, and you would always say the same thing at the end. They start with their their quarterback. They go with him. Now, we would usually forget week to week how offenses work, so I appreciate you reminding us. Does every team go with their quarterback? I guess Wildcat, maybe not.
Yeah. Not always.
Okay.
The majority that's the case.
Yeah.
The majority. But there's always a good reminder. See, if you don't reminder, right? The old saying about assumption.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Make an ass of you and me. Yeah.
Exactly. So I just got to make sure that everybody understands that.
We were waiting for some week where you would come up and be like, so they just really go with their offensive guard.
Yeah.
As he goes, they go.
Yeah.
Well,
just to throw us off.
We'll see. If you were in there for Iowa, I would have said they went with their offensive line.
They go with their defense.
They go with the punt. They punt. Yeah.
Wait till Liam gets up here. He's going to tell you how they go. No, it's that like Iowa. They were driven by their offensive line, and their running backs, and then manage with the quarterback.
Yeah.
But obviously with the most spread offenses that you see, it's so QB driven because of the pass games or the RPOs. Even in the run game action, they get involved in the run game. So, but I appreciate that you guys were listening. That means
Always.
a lot to me.
All jokes aside, it was always helpful just to kind of hear what we're about to see, because we would never have any idea what was coming.
I loved it.
Mattered.
I loved it because you
knowing.
get to see hey, this is actually the game plan because we're not involved in it at all, and then we get to, when we're watching from the best seats in the house, actually see if the game plan was coming off or not. So it's pretty cool.
Well, well, then if we're talking about a dynamic receiver, and you're like, ooh, he's the punt returner. Well, if he's that. No wonder he's a good punt returner, because he's a darn good receiver.
Yeah.
That kind of deal.
Yeah.
So.
Does that give any flashbacks of Tony Max?
Oh, many SEC punt returners. Last series.
By the way, because of that, I never talk to kickers on the sideline anymore, except last week.
Never, except the most recent game.
Last week, I was really it was funny. I was going through my head should I do this? Because the one time, I said something to you, Max, on the sideline was right before the Tony deal.
Yeah.
And so I was I vowed to myself, I'm never going to talk, because that's on me. That wasn't him. I jinxed him. So I wasn't going to do anything ever again. But I did tell Ruff that I had his back right before the last kick. So
Okay.
Just in case anybody came after him, I've got your back.
That's true. So the week
the
week
Yeah.
I
just
kicked it
free.
the week I kicked it to Tony by accident, we didn't have our special teams analyst out there. And so it was a bit of a shit show in terms of who was running what and who was doing, and everyone wanted to put their 5 cents in, and it was hilarious. I do remember that. And then not many people wanted to give me a pat on the back as I walked off after that one.
It's hilarious after the fact. Probably not so much in the moment.
Last serious football question. Give us 30 seconds each on Jordan Wright and how important it was to have him back, and then the senior guys at linebacker, Jarquez Jones, and then DeAndre Square.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to put into words for all those guys. I only get 30 seconds. But getting Jordan back was a huge, huge deal. And obviously he made a bunch of really big plays, and I anticipated him making big plays. The sideline reporter right before the game started grabbed me as I was going to the locker room and said, "Hey, how big is it to get Jordan Wright back?" And I said, "Well, you just wait." And yeah, I grabbed her after the game and I said, "I told you." And she's like, "I know." But he's such, not just the playmaking, but his energy. Like, if you saw in the preseason, everybody asked who's the funniest guy in the locker room. He got almost all the votes.
Yeah.
Because he's funny and loose when he needs to be, but he can be really serious and in the moment when he needs to be. And that's, I think, a huge asset to any team. And then to those two inside backers, they're really extensions of me on the field. They can make all the checks. They're so smart. They've played so many snaps. They bail you out of plays in terms of how they can slip linemen and make tackles, and everybody just thinks it routine. And then you watch the film and you're like, wow, I'm really glad he was able to make that play, because that thing could have been a gash. Could have been a big one. So it's invaluable to have both those guys back, and then they're able to teach the younger ones too. So I think the future's bright there.
Your playing career, walked on at Georgia to start off, chose that over Yale. Was that study related?
It was so.
Just didn't want to do the homework?
Well, no, that they say about it's hard to get in, and it's really hard to get thrown out. So you just got to get in. And I bust on Coach Scola. He went to Dartmouth, and so I said, oh well, it was hard to get into Dartmouth, but it's even harder to get thrown out of there, because once they get that paycheck coming in, they don't want to lose it. But no, I didn't want to regret not trying to play at the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was committed to Yale all the way through March, and I got a full academic scholarship to Georgia. And so I was like, you know what? I had that, Georgia, Iowa, and Syracuse, and I had walk-on opportunities. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go down. I looked at it, and Georgia was preseason number 5 that year. I said, well, no better time if I think I want to play at the highest level than go to the best team possible. So went down there and walked on, and was there for 6 months, and then was lucky enough to get a scholarship at Wake. When the coach staff at Georgia got fired, the DB coach was getting the linebacker job at Wake and asked if I wanted to follow him up.
So I think when Baltimore Raven fans look at their team, they think of Ray Lewis. Carolina fans, they think of Luke Kuechly. Kentucky fans, you've got DeAndre Square, that enforcer. That was you at Wake. 200 and something tackles in your career. What was the best part of your game?
I could get everybody lined up.
So you were the coach on the field.
I was. If you ranked most athletic is 1, least athletic is 11, I was definitely 11, no matter which substitutes came in the game. But I could get everybody lined up. So everybody's got a purpose, right? And, I was able to play faster than I probably was, just because I was able to anticipate, via formations, via, film study, and obviously I think some of that's carried over to where I am today. But yeah, I probably outkicked my coverage in terms of being able to play even at the ACC level, and being able to start for 3 years. So I was lucky there.
Did you know when you played that you probably wanted to coach after?
I did not. I remember. So Coach Hood was my defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And I remember people were starting to throw that out there when I was a senior. Hey, you probably would make a really good coach. And I remember Coach Hood sitting me down one time. He said, "Brad, you're too smart to coach. Don't get in this profession." And so
he never sat us down and said that.
Never told me that. Never told me that.
So I took that to heart, and that's why I went into the business world for 2 years. I didn't even do my pro day my senior year. So I had an interview with Bank of America on the same day, and I'm getting texts that are like, "Hey, you're missing pro day. You're missing pro day." I said, well, I told Coach Fair, who was our director of ops, that I wasn't going to be there. I had an interview with Bank of America, so I was. So once I was done with the interview, I came over to cheer on the other guys. But they're like, "Oh, are you going to get dressed?" I was like, no, I know I'm not good enough to play at that level. So
that's why we brought Miles here, because he's an
yeah.
accountant.
Accounting major, master's.
yes.
You were a portfolio manager at the Bank of America, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What does that encompass? And are you just the coffee man? Because you obviously brought us the coffees this morning. Is that something you got used to at Bank of America, or did you actually have to do anything?
Well, no, I actually had to work, which is crazy. But I do miss the banking hours, 9
to 5, whatever it is, yeah.
Yeah, it's a different little deal.
If you've got the accounting degree, I usually late March, early April, I get that once a year. How's it going? How you been lately, buddy? I come into your desk, you've got the Bible, you've got the UK defensive playbook, and you've got the IRS tax code. The 3 essentials of your life. Do you get any texts in April, maybe from the head man at the end? Can you do my taxes?
No, I don't. It was crazy. So at Wake, it's this 5-year accounting program. And so I got an undergrad in finance and a master's in accounting. And so everybody in that program does their CPA. Well, just like every senior does their pro day, I thought I'd go off the hinges. And I was like, I don't want to be a CPA. I did the internship at an accounting firm, all that. I was like, I like the math of accounting, but I don't want to do like corporate accounting. So that's where the global portfolio management came in. So we actually handled all the risk assessment for the corporate Bank of America on large corporate insurers. So the Allstates, the MetLifes, the AIG, we look at every bit of exposure that Bank of America has to those companies, and then we see how much more exposure we can take. Maybe we have to reel it back in. And I get there in August, and then Hurricane Katrina hits there at the end of August or start of September. So I'm 1 month in, and they put me on, hey, listen, you have to track all the losses that each one of our insurance companies are like accruing, and then this report that you're making is going to go all the way up to the CEO of Bank of America. And here I am, 22 years old, like, oh my goodness, I'm about to be on the weekly call with the CEO to talk about this report that I'm putting together. So that was a fun first experience.
Is that when you decided you wanted to get back into football?
So he gets back into this right after, yeah.
No, so after I just finished year 2 at the bank, I enjoyed what I was doing, and that same coach that brought me from Georgia to Wake was up for a head coaching job and said, hey, listen, if I get this, would you be interested in coming back and being my defensive coordinator?
You mentioned Coach Hood before. Obviously, he's had a big impact on my life, Miles's life. I'm guessing he's had a big impact for yourself. Can you just give us a little spiel on Coach Hood?
Oh, I mean, he is sort of the model of what I try to be in this profession. yes, do you want to be the best coach possible? Absolutely. I think that's the competitor in all of us. But doing it the right way means something, and it arguably means more than any other, success on the field. And the way he poured into not just the players that coached him, but the coaches that were around him. And he actually at Wake, there was probably about 20 houses that are actually within the campus board, and he got a house on campus so that families could come over, players could come over, they could hang out. And I remember being a GA for Hoodie, and when I was a player, he had a GA actually live with him, for a little bit while he was trying to get his feet on the ground and find a place. And it was like, hey, listen, you can live in the basement, and that's the kind of guy he is. So it means a ton that when I was coming down for my interview, I'm about 10 minutes out, and he calls up and says, are you coming on an interview to Kentucky? I said, yeah, I'm about 15 minutes away. He's like, yeah, we just had a staff meeting, and Coach Stoops asked if anybody knew who Brad White was. And he's like, I raised my hand and said, yeah, I've babysat his kids before. So no, there's some good times and good stories.
Coach Hood is the best. He actually is the greatest human of all time. Then you move on to the Colts. You get there, Andrew Luck gets there. You leave, Luck leaves. How personally responsible do you feel for that?
I think it was integrally tied.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he was probably heartbroken.
Yep.
So he was able to do it 1 year after I left, and then was like, I can't do it anymore.
Couldn't do it anymore. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said on his exit interview, actually, you were the reason why he gave up football. Is that something that sits okay with you?
I feel like I deprived the football world of something there.
Yeah.
But,
What's the biggest difference you see between coaching at the NFL level and at the college level?
I think guys understand more guys understand what it takes to be a quote pro. They understand that, hey, listen, this is a profession. This puts the food on the table for themselves, for their families. And so they're more locked in all the time. Now, with that being said, they don't have to go to school. They don't have some of those other, balancing acts that college players have. And so it is a little bit more challenging to me from a college player to try to balance, being a really, high quality athlete in a offense or defense. I think a lot's been made lately about how we run NFL offense, sort of an NFL defense. And to be able to comprehend all of that knowledge that pros get to focus on 24 hours a day, well, our guys have to do that while balancing a full course load and all that. So it's a little bit more challenging. You got to make sure that we don't do too much on offense and defense, that it's confusing. You still want them to be able to play fast and free. But
one word, you're allowed to give one word answers or one person answers to these questions.
Wow.
Hardest OC to go up against.
Ooh.
You have to answer it.
Don't say I was. Don't. Don't.
Is this a cameo? I can't be truthful because I'll get slandered.
You could be truthful.
Come on, give us one.
All right, come back to that.
All right, hardest player you've ever had to go up against or are about to go up against?
Ooh, does that include pros?
Yes. Hardest pro and hardest
Yeah,
college.
both.
Okay.
Do both.
Yeah.
Hardest pro, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
No, damn it.
Wow.
Hardest college player. Well, two that jump off, we actually did really well against. Last year I thought going into Cunningham for Louisville, and then going into this one, I thought this guy was a bigger Cunningham.
Those two.
Yeah,
Did you beat Rogers when you played him?
we did. We came back, a huge comeback.
So that's actually
Yeah.
players that he thinks
Twice,
are tough.
actually.
That's 4 and 0.
Yeah, we beat Rogers. I was 2-0 against Rogers.
In the
Wow.
future,
As an owner of the Green Bay Packers, this shatters my heart.
would you like to be a head coach? Yes or no?
Long time future. No super desire in the short term.
Okay. OC.
OC? Absolutely.
You think you could be the OC?
Not at Kentucky, but I would love to be an OC. I said that to somebody on the practice field just the other day. Now, I was joking too because I knew exactly what coverage we were in and I knew how to beat it. So I schemed up a scout team play. So just to keep the guys on edge, right? I do that every once in a while, and I know the play is going to gash us.
Yeah.
I think that's fun. If I know what the defense is going to be.
If we go back to the hardest team or hardest OC to go up against, you got an answer?
All right.
Don't do team because then that just comes
it's
to
just Georgia,
It's just Georgia or Bama or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
I can feel like he wants to
Yeah, I feel like he
has
knows
one in
exactly who
mind,
he wants to
doesn't want
say.
it. Is he no longer coaching?
We're not going to get it out
I
of
have
you.
an idea as who it is, and he's no longer the head coach at a school that you just played.
No.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
That one.
He's easy.
No one's easy,
Uh-huh.
but some.
You're trying to get the man in trouble.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I'll say this: the ones that are unpredictable to me are a little bit more challenging because you can be really talented and you can still put up a bunch of points. But if I knew what you're going to do, like I went into the game, I felt confident. Hey, listen, not everything. But it's the ones that you can slaughter them just as easily as you could get beat by 100, just because you're not sure, and they don't have a standardized tendency. Most OCs, most even defense coordinators, they have things they fall onto. They have their tells, and the ones that are just sort of off the cuff, unpredictable, like are the hardest ones because at that point there's a little bit of guessing going on, and I hate guessing.
We let Brent have one question per week, but I just want to give you this piece of paper first. I just want you to read that, please.
Listen, so here's the thing. They don't.
Hold on. You get one question per
for
week.
anything. Wait, does he have to read it out loud?
No. So go ahead, ask your question. You good? All right.
I've got no idea what that says.
Go for it.
Okay, I hate this already. So obviously the standard here at Kentucky for the understoops has been the 2018 defense, and a lot of people have talked about this defense in the same light. What are some of the characteristics you see that, kind of compare the two, and what are the characteristics that it takes to
He audible.
We were wrong.
He definitely audible.
You definitely
He
audible.
audible at the last second.
We thought there would be only one question that you go with, and we got it wrong.
was it about Jacquez?
Can you please ask him a Jacquez Jones question so you can get the answer?
Yeah, just obviously there's Josh Allen. I assume Jacquez Jones is like right here. Just how great is Jacquez Jones day in, day out? Got to be just star linebacker, right?
Well, he actually just texted me and said he was entering the portal, so he's no longer on the team.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Thanks for bringing it up,
Okay.
though, Brett.
Yeah.
We thought you'd 100% go
Wow.
Jacquez Jones.
Oh, that's the thing. It's chestnut checkers. I knew you all
Yes.
were planning
Yes.
for that. So.
All right, so the comparisons between this team and the 18 team.
And I was going to say,
You
I
know-
know by the time people hear this, I know we're only 3 games in. So
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
They're so different.
The man behind you was pretty handy.
Josh made a lot of wrongs right. There were some things that on some pressures, on some sacks that could have been big plays if he didn't get there or whatnot. But that was, I think, similarities. I think they both had older veteran guys that understood what was required to be a good team, and they could make great individual plays. I think we've got guys on this team that can make when the moment calls for it, they can make really big individual plays. Jordan Wright showed up. Keedron Smith showed up. Carrington Valentine showed up. Quez, Square, they showed up. Like in big moments, like they make big,
Very
Ty
opportunistic.
like I've told people and everybody, nobody really, the play Ty Asian made on 1st and 10, and they threw a bubble screen in the fourth quarter, and we busted in the back end.
Yeah.
If he doesn't make that tackle for 4, we might be talking about something entirely different. You may not even have me on the podcast. You guys are like, you got a sign in my lawn.
Him and Jacquez both are in the transfer portal.
So those guys stepped up, and Ty made that because he understood. He's been in this defense so long. He knew what the check was, and he saw that we rotated wrong, that he just said, I'm going to go erase it because I know what's coming. Those comparisons. I think the strengths may be at different spots a little bit. But I think this team's got a chance to basically set its own identity. And I'm excited to see, what we can do, the rest of the year.
Last one, and we appreciate your time being with us. We ask every guest, we even ask Coach Stoops, everyone, what motivates you and why do you do it?
Well, I love it. Like you had asked the question before about being a head coach. My motivation, I love the X and O's piece of coaching. I love the relationships of coaching. And I think when you step up into a head coaching realm, I think you leave a little bit of the X's and O's because you have to be a little bit more of a CEO. And I don't have a great desire to leave that right now. This is what I enjoy doing. I enjoy coming in the office early and
chucking on the iTunes,
playing the game of chess. Like that's that is the finance piece. That's the math piece. That's the analytical piece of this whole thing. But I do, want to make sure that there's balance, and I do it very much for my family. Like my wife she's my rock, and I've got 4 great kids. One whose birthday is today, he turns 9, and my 2-year-old turns 2 on Sunday. So, and being here, Coach Stoops allows all of them in the building anytime. I'm able to bring the kids over, and we play on the practice field. And my 5-year-old just loves Chris Rodriguez to death. He's got more signed gloves, and Chris knows him. Like that's why you do it. It's those relationships, those interactions, and there's no better place to do it than here at the Big Blue Nation.
Does it bother you a little bit that Chris is his favorite player, not a defensive player, or?
No, because you'd love this. When I was in Indy, I had Rob Mathis, and who was Lincoln's favorite player? Hands down was Pat McAfee.
Yeah. That's what, yeah. I mean, my family's favorite player wasn't me either. It was a defensive guy as well. So I get it. It's one of those things.
I think, especially Lincoln, who turned 9 today, is he's very much goes on his own way. He's a Justin Jefferson Vikings fan. I'm like, the Vikings, like what? But so he was fired up when Coach Manusk went up there, and so he got a jersey here, and so he's been gritting all over the place.
Is he into the football yet? Playing?
Oh yeah, he's been flag football for a lot of years, and he loves it.
Last one then, before we get out of here, specialists. We're obviously a specialist podcast.
Yeah.
You've had me and Miles on the team. What was that like, and what do you think of specialists in general?
I think if you even ask the current group of specialists, I think they would say I'm the most involved non-specialist coach.
Yep.
Just I enjoy hanging out with them. I always have. You guys have great personalities. You guys aren't the old school, go stand in the shower in your cleats so they would mold to your feet type, that people have. You guys have just, y'all might be the funniest group,
Wow.
unit as a whole. Like on a percentage basis, specialists might be the funniest.
Do get to do a lot of talking.
You do.
We do.
Yeah.
Hey, and by the way, I don't appreciate that you beat the current specialist on the golf course. Like that one hurt. Like, 'cause,
Yeah, me and Grant took down Ruffalo and
Colin?
Colin, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was, Colin and Ruff. That was like Team USA here, and we just got taken down in the Ryder Cup. Like I was heartbroken on that one. So,
Hey, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Just say from us, we appreciate it so much. Obviously, we appreciated spending time when we were on the team with you, and then for you to give up some time for us is great. So we really, really appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Appreciate you having me on.
Well, how good was that, Miles? Brad White
Great.
on the hot seat in his office, brought us coffees, brought us donuts. No, what was it?
Scones.
Not donuts,
Scones. Chocolate croissants.
We talked up debits and credits. Oh, it was a good meeting.
He like the best thing about that interview, or the funniest thing, was how long he wanted to talk about his job at Bank of America.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
we just kind of asked him a joking question, and he just wanted to tell us almost every day about when he went in there.
Yeah, he gave us his full schedule, and I think we even had written down, like, should we ask him what his dream job would be outside of football? That he answered it.
Yeah.
He'd be Bank of America CEO.
I would say more serious man than joking man, but
Yep.
I think he kind of has that persona around the team. But having been able to have the privilege to have had the occasional beer with him every now and then, he's definitely, one of the nicest guys in the staff, and one of the funniest when you get to know him. He's great for a conversation. So I think that was awesome for him to be able to have us and let us in there at 8 a.m. in the morning.
8.
But it was good. Let's go to the Twitter questions for today, because they're always good to get to. We love hearing from you guys. So we've got 13 today. Randy says, your opinions on Adam Sandler?
I like his fashion.
Yeah.
He always goes like the shorts, hoodie. Look, I don't know how much he's worth, but plenty. That's, if I had that much money, that's exactly what I would wear as well. And he plays pickup basketball all the time.
Yeah,
I'm not good
yeah.
enough for that because I'm not very tall, but I respect that.
Loves it.
And really, what's the best Adam Sandler movie?
Uncut Gems. But
Uncut Gems is one. I think it's good.
on his like Happy Madison
Yes.
production stuff, oh shoot.
I mean, Happy Gilmore's good.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably
Big
it.
Daddy. You haven't seen that one, have you?
I love
Big Daddy's an older one. Big
It's
Daddy's
like,
really good.
It's like whenever like he's got to put like his sunglasses on to like feel comfortable
Yes.
in a room, or invisible.
I liked
Invisible. I'm
was
going.
it Click?
Yes.
Love Click.
Click's
That's a
good. The
movie.
Longest Yard.
Yeah. The Longest Yard's probably the best
Really
one.
good.
Yes, actually. Paul Crew. Aubrey Yeoman's Paul Crew.
Yes. Yes.
What are the 7 things you want? This is from BMAC. What are the 7 things you want to see the O-line do this week to prove they're improving?
You say 7?
7.
What was it? Wonders of the World? What are we doing?
7.
7 things.
I want to see
Blocking.
the right tackle block. I want to see the right guard block. I want to see the center block. I want to see the left guard and the left tackle block.
So we're
That's
at
5
5.
things I want to
Okay.
do.
I want to see him
get
be
some-
good in screen passes.
I want to get some push, and I want to get some pull.
A pulling guard.
Yep.
Yep, there we go.
So there you go. There's the 7 things. I don't really have a. I mean, we just need to be better, right? Like, I don't think it's as simple as that. Like, there's no like one way we're getting beat. We just seem to be getting beaten in all different positions every
It
now and
seems like the communication isn't great.
then. Yeah.
Like they're getting hit with stuff, and it's like, whose fault was that? We don't really know sometimes.
How tall? This is Jesse Craig. How tall is Miles Butler?
How tall do you think?
Are you asking us?
5'9".
I was gonna say 5'9".
5'9"?
5'9", 5'10".
That's rude.
What are you?
5'9" and a half.
Wow.
Robbie Rogers. Better TV show: Night Court or Wings?
I've never seen
No, I
either.
don't know what either of those are.
No, neither have I.
So both.
I would say probably Wings. I like Wings better
I
than
like
Night.
Wings way better.
Sorting things out at night, though. Night Court. That's probably, I don't
Night
know.
caught?
Night Court. COURT.
Court.
It's like Judge Judy, just at night.
But at night.
Yeah.
Dresses up like a knight.
The Black Knight? Okay.
Benjamin at UK Fan in Ohio. Should we be expecting blowouts in games like this? Can we... sorry, my voice is so bad. Can we start to worry about the offensive line?
It was a
blowout.
We covered 30 and a half.
31-0, 3-0 against the spread this year, by the way.
Yeah, 3-0 against
That's
spread.
why
I mean,
we're a great
I
team.
thought it was a good result. Can we start to worry about the offensive line? We've been started.
You were on that preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zebulon Vance, PhD. Should we get the Stoop statue out of solid gold? Should we make the Stoop statue out of solid gold or platinum?
Platinum.
I'd go platinum. I prefer platinum if I was.
He preferred platinum too.
He did too, yeah.
Geez, you'd need a lot of resources to make that statue. A lot. What we talked about this on Friday.
We did. What pose?
And, the pose would be so good.
The
It'd be so
KFC
good to
bucket
see
with the
which one
coffee
they
swirl
get.
was
And
good.
are they going to put a hat on him or are they going to show his hair? It's going to be
Definitely
interesting to see what they do. You think the
He'll
hat?
definitely have a hat. Yeah.
Can we, before we go past that, as much as we talk about him, the jacket, the tie, him pregame Saturday was as good as he has ever looked.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Probably his wedding day, he didn't look that good.
No, he's the best looking man of all time. And I can tell you from first-hand experience, he had a great night Saturday night.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Hill Jack, who day? I need to know why Kentucky should be worried about Northern Illinois.
They shouldn't be.
A state versus the top of a state.
Yeah.
The only tricky, I don't know
What's
if they.
the Northern Illinois? What are they? The Northern Illinois.
I think it's
what?
Wildcats.
Huskies?
No, I think that's right. Huskies.
Huskies, maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
That
Okay,
sounds
go on.
right. Is Northern Illinois close to Chicago?
Maybe. I know it's close to southern Wisconsin. Why wouldn't they just be southern Wisconsin?
If they get Justin Fields, they'll be all right.
Yeah, that'd be
I
nice.
wouldn't be
Maybe
worried
just-
about Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
Amanda L. Bradley. Why was Chance Paul having to hold the ball? Well, you see, Amanda, the thing is when the long snapper snaps it back to Chance, he's got to hold the ball for the kicker. So that's why he was having to hold
That
it.
was the question? Why did he have to hold it?
Why was Chance Paul having to hold the ball?
Well, what?
Was it on kickoffs?
I think no. I think so. If you're confused, Chance Paul has always been the holder.
No,
even
that's what I
last
don't
year.
understand.
I don't know.
Maybe there was another ball he was holding. Maybe he's on the sideline holding a basketball. Maybe it looked weird. I don't know.
I don't know what she meant by
I
that.
saw Chance Saturday
Unless
night.
it was a joke about the long snapper maybe actually being able to get it back to Chance this week.
She
Or
lost
maybe
me. I don't know.
Maybe she wants Chance to play some QB. Maybe
I'm
instead
not
of holding
I-
it, get rid of
I
it.
don't know, but anyway, you've confused us. And the problems, and are the problems on our O-line fixable? I'm going to say 3 games in, no. I think we could probably use tight ends, maybe extra to block, that kind of thing. But I'm going to say, they are what they are at the moment. And they're not, and it could get better, I'm sure. And we've found that we've been able to grind teams down in the second half. So maybe we're fitter than everyone. But are they fixable? I think at this stage, if you can't look after Youngstown State.
I've never heard more fit or fitter an offensive line in a sentence ever.
I know.
They are not the ones I would say that are in shape. I think you can mitigate the downfalls of what they do, but I don't know if you can get rid of it completely.
David Glenn Wheatley says, O-line, talent issue or just experience and chemistry issue? We have been through it. Everyone wants to know about the O-line.
I mean, do we need Freddie Maggard on? We need to get, let's get the O-line coach on here.
O-line expert over here.
Offensive line.
Offensive, sorry.
Yeah.
Sincerely, though, I think there's always been a moment in the Stoops era where it's like 4 or 5 games in, we're concerned about something, and then they have a game where they just kind of, it's almost like snap at the fingers and it's fixed sometimes. Maybe that'll happen with the O-line, maybe not, but we'll see.
Paulie B. Paulie B. Since Australia is not a very big place, did you know Youngstown State punter Paddy Lynch? I did because he came through the program with me. He tried to do a little salute to Max Duffy yesterday by holding onto the ball and running around with it a little bit, and it got blocked.
I saw that.
So, poor guy. He would have been pretty annoyed with that one. Settles said, how often does Brent, in brackets, Brett, need to be reminded that he's not important to the podcast? His takes suck, like his show prep, asking for a friend.
Who said that?
Settles.
Let me see his.
Do you know him?
That's my bad. I meant to put that off my bad. I shouldn't have said that. Let me see him.
We just looked at the profile picture. I just want to say, Settles, there's a reason why I'm doing what I'm doing at 23, and you're taking pictures in front of a mural at 20, at 40, 50, whatever you are. I mean,
Hunter,
I
Fisher.
understand my place in life. I'm just here to plug in the cords and
What
sit
is-
in here. So you know,
Back so I can keep
What
reading
is
the tweets,
what's
please.
hold on? What is apostrophe Juster? Juster.
Jester.
Huh?
Juster.
Yeah, it's what he says.
Probably just because he sits there and
Hunter,
just
Fisher, Juster.
Adjuster.
Adjuster. What's he adjust?
his fucking
Hunting and
life is
fishing.
he's so upset that I'm on this podcast instead of him. Jesus
And Brent
Christ.
is angry.
No, I'm furious because I know my place in life. I get it. It's kind of stupid that I get to do this.
Do
but,
your
you know,
job.
it's just
Yeah,
what it
do your
is.
job.
So I'm sorry. Why don't you fish and adjust, and I'll sit here and plug in the fucking cables, and you do what you do.
Oh
Fuck
my
yes.
God,
Fuck yes. I love it. Who was the best DJ Kentucky football has had? Well, DJ Pang.
Oh, DJ Pang.
DJ
Pang. When I think when we went to Vegas, there was like Avicii, Kygo, and Pang.
Yeah.
Those were the three.
Who took over from DJ War and Peace?
Beats
Should
me.
have been Pang.
He should have been. WT Top 10 Vibes says, if we make fun of Stoops for his hair and Max for his age, what do we make fun of Miles and Brent for?
Height.
And then Ranger Ansi said, I think Brent gets enough crap already. Geez, there's some people looking after you today and there's some people getting into you.
Juster. Adjuster.
What do we make fun of about you?
Height.
Yeah? Or inability to sound even somewhat.
Yeah, I can't speak up
Yeah,
normally.
yeah.
Yeah.
Brent, what do we make fun of for you?
Everything.
That's true. You're a Packers fan.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
He said today, and if for people that actually watch this, he said, which we'll see if it's right or not, Packers are going to easily beat the Bears, and that's coming from an unbiased source, as he's wearing his Packers gear.
unbiased.
He has a Packers sweatshirt on.
Last one. CJ. I don't know if it's CJ Conrad. CJ says, can we get the radio synced to the game for once like it used to be? Go Cats. So, Miles, can you please sort that out?
What?
Because everyone knows clearly that's our job
Yes.
here. Can you get the radio synced to the game for once like it used to be, please?
Who
Can
thinks
you?
me?
Yes.
I'll work on it next week. I'll get it taken care of. I'll talk to if you actually had to get tasked with fixing that this week,
Yeah.
who would you even start with?
Dick.
Dick Gabriel?
Yes.
Yep.
Because he's on the radio. Dick would know a thing or two about getting synced up.
I mean, like,
I don't
how?
know who. Which we'll roll straight into our next segment because we love Dick on this podcast.
love it.
We're all big Dick fans. Whether, Dick's soft or he's going hard, Dick's the best. So
Why don't we call this guy? What was his name again?
Settles.
Settles. Why don't we call him and see what his hard dick question of the week is?
Wow.
Maybe he can let us know what a adjuster is.
You two, I want you in like a Hell in a Cell match, just
Jesus
going at
Christ.
each other.
Well, it'd be
Cage
nice
match.
if he wants to put in an audition to take my spot
He
on the
did.
podcast.
He could have an
Be
audition.
my guest.
What's the question?
What's your hard Dick question of the week?
I don't even know now. I'm so mad.
Wow.
I think I was kind of thinking about it on my way in. I think this is probably the first time, and I want to know if you all agree. Does it feel like that this Kentucky team is trending towards for the first ever
National
time?
title.
Yes.
That's
What?
actually the question?
That was the question?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
No, it seems like they're trending towards being like the first time in the Stoops era, just complimentary across the board, where it's like instead of having something that's all the way great and maybe offense struggles or something like that, it's more even across the board and like playing at a higher level across the board. Do you all see that
Complimentary.
as well? Complimentary.
I
football.
would say, having been out with them last Sunday, they did actually say, Max, nice shoes and great
They
shirt.
were very
Yep.
nice. I
Yeah,
agree
they were
with
very
that.
nice to Miles too. They were saying nice things about Miles, very complimentary.
Brad
team.
White, super nice to
Yeah,
us.
he was nice. He was saying how
Incredibly
nice he liked the specialists and
Yep.
stuff like that. So yeah, very complimentary team.
All right, thank you.
I would say I'll be nice and be serious with you.
No, it's all good.
No, I actually think it's a good question.
Okay, thank you.
That's your.
That's
que-
very
that was-
complimentary.
Okay.
Very complimentary.
It's
of you.
the best offense of the Stoops era. True or not true?
Close.
No?
Well, no, with Chris back, yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
right now.
I mean, when? Last year?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, Wandale was unbelievably
He
good.
was good.
last year and
But, like-
2016 gives it a good run. I think.
And you can't say it's our best offense when the O-line is struggling as much as it is as well.
I just feel like we like yardage-wise, stats-wise, we've been pretty good.
You know what the thing is as well for me on defense is we've got some big games coming up against some teams that can score, but we don't. It's like I'll give you the complimentary thing on defense. We don't have a star, but we seem very good as a group.
There's nowhere to
Like
attack.
no one's
There's
going
no
in the
weakness.
top 4 rounds in that defense.
Jacques Jones. Looks pretty good. I don't know.
That's Jones.
It doesn't. It doesn't seem like there is a spot that they're attacking. It's like everywhere's pretty solid.
Well, I would say that I've seen offenses try and attack with the running game and the passing game. So,
And the play action game.
yeah.
Genuinely, though, I think it is.
Not a spot that they're attacking. Did that even make sense to you when you said it?
Not as in a specific area. No.
What area on the field? What do you mean?
Okay. Okay. We'll go Tennessee last year.
Okay.
Where were they attacking? The corners.
end zones.
Deep. Yes.
The
They
end
were deep
zones.
balls every time. They weren't even trying to run.
Okay.
Okay. They don't do that this year. It's not like this is the one area we can pick on. Tennessee said last year, yeah, the DBs are getting torched. Let's roast them.
Okay. To be fair, we have played 2 games against very easy opponents and 1 against a guy that can't throw. So when we find a quarterback that can throw, then we'll see.
Miami, Ohio's quarterback was pretty good.
Little fella. Yeah, he was all right. He was doing his best.
What about 12 straight? Not 12. 6 straight scoreless quarters.
It's really good. Hopefully they
pretty
can do
nice.
that through the rest of the year.
That's actually pretty
that's
good.
Weird. That's Georgia-esque.
It is.
No, it's not.
Georgia
Just
gave
South
up
Carolina
7,
scored.
correct?
Yeah, we're
Correct.
better than that.
Correct. Speaking of other college games, our big dogs of the week were almost so good.
Why
So,
are
hold
you
on.
like, you're smiling?
I'll give you the scores.
Apologize to everyone.
I'll give you the
Say
scores.
we are sorry.
We gave you 3 losers, yes, but we gave you 3 covers, which is great. But where are we? We had. Give me a reminder.
We had South Alabama.
Yep. So
Brent had South Alabama.
Alabama,
who lost on a field
who lost
goal.
on a field goal.
And they tried a fake field goal.
So dumb. They would have won that game.
35-33.
I think it was 33-32 or 31-32.
Something like
Yep.
that.
31-32.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. That would have been good. Miles, you had
The Troy Trojan horses
Troy Trojans
Oh,
who
we
lost
all-
on the last
on a
play
Hail
of the
Mary.
game.
We all know how that is.
Hail Mary. And I had the Liberty Flames
Who
who
lost
looked
by
like they
1,
were getting
right?
smoked early and lost by 1.
I think we
because
had
they went for 2 and they lost.
So all of our big dogs lost by 1 point.
Or the
Or
last
two.
play of the game.
I think mine was 2. So
Yeah.
we combined 4 points.
So
That's
And
crazy.
they were all paying like
We're-
3 or 4 to 1 at least.
Yeah, at least. We're doing pretty good.
So-
okay, they didn't win, but we're doing pretty
We're
good.
knocking
So
on the door.
Follow our big dogs.
Like if they follow us and the goal for us is that they win outright. But if you follow us and just pick them to cover,
Win.
you're
So-
going to be making a lot of money.
So
this
the
year.
10, you have to be 10 or more point underdogs.
That response
And
is
we've had 2 winners in the first week. Mine did not cover, but we had 2 winners, and then this week they're all like 1 point losers basically. It's pretty good.
Crazy.
On a quick gambling note, you all know who's been the hottest gambler of the year.
Oh, Raven, Alabama money
I
line.
mean, Bama to win again, and it's just like, at what point does Vegas say we're not taking her bets anymore because she's too
Actually,
good?
I'll come back at you on that. We messaged her and said Texas A&M on Miami, and she said fuck Texas A&M, and I was like wow. And so she said Miami all the way, and Miami did not.
She
fall.
wanted. She was all about the Hurricanes, and it didn't happen. No.
What's funny is I want to give a quick shout out to my friend Zach, who I kind of got him into gambling. But what he does, he takes like a 10-team parlay. Or
Yes.
at least he did this on Saturday, and it was like Alabama, Georgia, like
money
the
line?
most chalk it could be, and it was like I don't know the exact units, but hypothetically it was like 50 to win. I don't know, like 67 or something
Did it
like
cash?
that. It cashed, and he texted me this morning.
Win's a win.
He texted me this morning, and he was just like, yeah, my 10-teamer hit yesterday. I was like, fuck, I'd hope so.
We have Mason Wolf, who will do something similar to that, where like he was former O-lineman, where he'll like take the favorite at like like 10 over 1 or whatever it is, and he'll like fist pump when it wins, and he's put like $2 on it. And he's won like 40 cents, and he's like got the winner.
Mason's so good at Keeneland because he'll go and we'll bet, and he'll have like a horse to show or
Yeah.
something, and a $5 ticket will pay like 10 cents,
Yeah.
and he is whipping as hard as
Yeah,
anyone in the
yeah.
track.
It's just the thrill of the chase,
It
I
is.
guess. He
It
loves
is.
it.
And I'm going to give you a big dog for tonight. The Chicago Bears are about to win money line.
What's going to be
Well, you
funny,
can come back to it.
Well, people are going to hear this after the fact, so it's going to be
It'll
fun.
be interesting.
Chicago Bears money line tonight. I'm
All
telling
right,
you.
question for you.
What?
Not the Larry Vaught question.
Okay.
How many times have the Bears beaten the Packers in the last decade?
Probably none.
Twice.
So really do.
Okay.
Really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, it's just gonna be good because I fucking own you, Aaron Rodgers last year. Now without Devontae Adams,
Last week was the first time he had lost to a team without Devontae Adams starting.
okay, he is 100% losing rate when he doesn't have Devontae Adams.
That's you didn't hear a word I just said.
What do you mean?
Over his career, after Devontae Adams has been with the Packers, on games he's injured or out, and Aaron Rodgers under center, the Packers are 7-1.
Not this year.
Okay, sure, not this year.
This
One
year,
weekend.
this year, what? 0-1,
0.
100% losing rate.
Have yet to win.
The Bears. I'm telling you right now. I know we get it too late, but the Bears money line tonight. Larry Vaught. We didn't mention it on Friday. We said we'd hold off till today. Me and Larry are judging a chili eating contest next weekend, Miles.
Unreal.
Chili.
Me and him. Larry. So Doug,
Have you
let me
had
get
chili?
to- I like chili a lot.
Chili's
Is it
good.
even going to be cold enough for chili?
I don't know. So like,
By the way, it was hot in that stadium
let me-
yesterday. It was like 100 degrees.
let me
it felt
give
like.
everyone the information for those that just want to, show up.
And watch you and Larry Vaught eat chili.
Wilderness Trail Distillery, me and Larry on Saturday. Larry messaged me and said, do you have any good photos for the post that I'm about to put up? And I said, I do not. And I said, I've got some inappropriate ones. And Larry just went with our beautiful post that we're putting on with
Wow.
Brad White and Jesus and Miles Butler.
Are we also coming to the contest then?
You can come if you want to, yeah. I mean, it's on at 11 o'clock on Saturday.
I want to enter it. I want to make a chili,
Okay.
and I'll enter it.
I think there's 24 different chilies that we have to try.
And I'm not telling you which one's mine, and I'm going to make it the spiciest thing you've ever eaten. Oh, you're going to be running to the toilet after.
Andy E said, is that Jesus?
Yes.
You do look a little bit like Jesus.
How would you know? What? How? What, you and him were
Well,
tight back in the day?
They're guesses of what he looked like when they draw him.
Not to get too,
How would you guess that?
not to get
Not
too
you,
deep
anyone.
into the political religious sphere. I have a strong feeling that Jesus does not look like me.
How? How could anyone be like, I'm really confident that's what he looked like?
That's the thing. I don't.
Well, he was Middle Eastern.
That's the
like
thing, the Middle
skin
Eastern thing.
color tone, yes. Other than that, he could have been bald. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, but don't they describe him in the Bible? Like his hair and shit? Hair and shit, yes.
That.
Don't they? Do
I
they
don't.
not?
It doesn't. There's not like a bio where you pull it up and
Do you
he's like
think-
6'2", blonde hair. Like no,
Would have he been the best looking man ever?
no,
Jesus?
no,
I don't know.
I don't
I
think
never
so.
saw him.
no. Actually, I don't know because I don't know what he looked like.
He'd have good game though.
I mean, Sawyer Smith's pretty good looking.
Yeah.
So-
and Reese Butler.
Reese looks really good.
So are you saying
So-
I'm one of the best looking men alive? If you think Jesus would be the
No, see, that's what I was about to say. I think if he looks like you, then definitely not.
Thank you.
But yeah, 24 chilies on Saturday at the WTA Distillery. So it should be good fun. Me and Larry. Larry loves the show, loves the segment dedicated to him. Do you have a Larry Vaught obscure question
Very
for
much
a man
so.
that likes obscure things?
Yes, I know that. You had a big night last night. Probably rubbed some elbows of some pretty prominent people around Youngstown. So I got to ask you guys.
Rubbed some elbows.
Yeah.
You never heard that term before?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Who's the most famous contact or most notable contact in your phone?
Question, Miles?
You don't know
Is
that?
it just me or Miles as well?
I'll answer it. Mine's easy. It's
Yeah.
cheesy. Stoops.
Okay.
He'd be the most recognizable person in my phone.
I would say, who do I have?
See, my thing is, and I'm being serious about this, mine might actually be Max. Not just because, like, you get Kentucky, sure, but Australia, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a big, pretty...
Not a very big country though, like they said.
No,
it's
that's
not
true,
very
true.
big.
Yeah.
My biggest, Stoops would be the easy one. I think I have Vic Fangio, even though I didn't know who that was at Denver. I think I've got his number. When I actually went to Denver, I messaged Miles, because obviously I could Google it, but I was just fucking around. But I was being deadly serious. I messaged Miles. I was like, I have no idea who the head coach is. What's his name?
I was like, that'd
Well, he's
probably
not
be
there
helpful.
anymore. So I mean,
Well, and that's why they cut him. They said, if you don't, they literally said, we want to sign you. All you got to do is answer, who is this man? And he said, I have no idea. Out the door. Passed the COVID restrictions test, passed all the punting stuff, passed the physical, couldn't name the head coach.
what if that was his citizenship test too? Who's
Yes,
the head
who
coach
is
of the
this?
Denver Broncos?
Who is the president? And
I
who is
went
the,
to
yeah.
I went to dinner. I've been to dinner a few times with Joe Kraft.
He wouldn't be
I've
more
been
than
to
Stoops.
dinner Anthony Hopkins. Is it Anthony
No.
Hopkins?
Stoops.
Josh Hopkins, sorry. Josh Hopkins
Can't even
from
get his
Cougar
name
Town.
right, so no.
Cougar Town. Went to dinner with him a
Stoops.
couple of weekends back.
Stoops.
Stoops.
1,000%.
I've got some Australian rule head coaches
Nah.
numbers.
It'd be good if you chucked a random one in right now. Like, I mean, do you count Jennifer
Raven.
Aniston or no?
Raven
Jennifer
Butler.
Aniston, I have. Raven.
I'm in the close friends of Miss USA's Instagram group.
L.
Yeah.
Oh,
How'd
nice.
you work your way in there?
She gave me clappy hands for my Pittsburgh
She gave you
Mauler
clap what?
draft.
Clappy
go.
hands.
Clappy hands.
She gave you the clappy
So
hands.
there you go.
Wow.
She was in my Spanish class.
Congratulations.
Trying
What,
to
you know Spanish too? Huh? You know Spanish too?
No, I'm not.
No, he does. When it's late night, sometimes some of the stuff he says
my
sounds
Spanish
like
teacher
Spanish.
my Spanish teacher has left now, so I'm allowed to say this. When I took Spanish, I had a guy he now lives back in Spain, in Alicante, where he was from. He's the best dude of all time. First day, I stayed behind, and I was like, hey, I'm from Australia. I'm in the football team. So I did this speech to every teacher, trying to soften them up. So, I'm very busy with my time. So, I'll do whatever I can to make sure I pass this class. But I just want you to know that maybe
I'm gonna
sometimes
struggle.
I won't
Language
be there,
barrier.
whatever. He said, no problems, big fella. Like, it'll be fine. We'll get you through. I had him every year for my 4 years of Spanish. Did not do one thing ever.
Wow.
Because me and him, he would come out drinking with us all the time. He was
And
a
you
great
probably
dude.
got A.
Oh, A's for sure.
Probably better than my
A's.
Spanish teacher in high school. She got arrested.
For what?
One of those student teacher.
Oh, so
affiliations.
You were
Larry
the
Ford,
one.
perfect for the Larry Ford segment.
Wow.
Oh,
you
man.
did that.
Shout out. She was the worst, so I don't even care. Shout out. She's terrible.
Yeah, I don't think I've got anyone else. I was trying to think. So I've met Steph Curry and Kevin Durant.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I've met them. I actually kicked a football with Steph Curry.
Wait, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. How was that?
How'd he kick?
He was actually all right.
He'd be
He's
good.
actually all right.
He'd be good.
I've met.
The Queen?
No, I did
Rest in
not meet
peace.
the Queen. Andy Barr, politician.
I've met Mitch McConnell.
Okay, have you? Yeah. Is he from Paducah?
No.
Where's he from? Do you know?
I would say Louisville, but I don't know that.
All right.
I certainly
Let me
can
look
tell
that
you.
up.
Okay, we went off track very
Yeah,
well
that's
there.
we're
Great
off the
question,
rails
though.
now. Really good question.
That's actually the best question you've had so far.
Thank you.
So let's say, well, hey, when you get your praise when you deserve it, and you get your hurt when you deserve it, which is something that the specialists need to learn at Kentucky.
Correct. Eat shit, whatever that guy's name was on
Sheffield, Alabama. That's where Mitch McConnell's from. How?
Twitter. What?
How?
How? I thought you had to be a
I
Kentucky
thought
native.
the same thing. I don't know.
Well, that's our.
Imagine if that, like, he should have never even been a senator and no one ever bothered to check the birth certificate of where he's from.
We just lost him his
assumed.
job.
Yeah, we just assumed.
Someone's tried a book about him.
Huh?
Someone's
Yeah,
tried
someone
a book
should.
about him. Yeah.
Anything else?
I think I'm good.
You got anything, Brent?
I'm excited for Northern Illinois. The
good?
Huskies?
Huskies.
The North are they called the Huskies? Have we know
Yeah,
that
I
for
think
sure?
so.
The
I'm not
Northern Illinois
looking it
Huskies.
up.
Hey, the Kentucky Wildcats are number 8 in the country.
3-0.
My voice will be back next week. We will see you Saturday morning, nice and early for our pre-game show.
Where will we see them?
Yeah.
We will see them
doing it
through
live?
Yeah, live.
We'll do it live.
Yeah.
Through our hearts.
That'll be out Saturday for the Northern Illinois pre-game show. Besides that, I hope everyone has a good week.
Yep.
Thanks again to Brad White. He was the best. Oh, really quickly, Miles, can you give me 30 seconds on Brad White? Because we didn't really do that. Give me what your honest thoughts were about Brad.
I mean, I had talked to him at football before, but I don't think we'd ever had a sit down with him like that. I thought he was pretty genuine with us. And sometimes when you talk to the coaches, we have to kind of rip stuff out of him. We joked about the Bank of America stuff and the defense. He was pretty open to answering whatever he wanted and went on and on about it. So we appreciated his time. We woke up early with him. He's been, we had Stoops. It's tough to beat Stoops. What?
Woke up early with Brad White.
What do you mean? Well, I rode in with him, if that's what you're asking.
You rode him?
Oh, hey.
What did you say?
He was a good interview. I'll just say that.
What do you
all.
think? You've never met Brad before, have you?
No, it was great. He's super nice to us to even get us breakfast, especially me, someone who he couldn't even remember was on the team. And I also loved that he recognized the best quarterback in the league, Aaron Rodgers.
Wow. I thought you were going to say Anthony Richardson there for a second.
On his desk, I know this would be the same with everyone's, but on his desk, like, he just had stats after stats after stats and all these things. Like, he is a absolute crazy man when it comes to dedication of defense. The fact that he said he wanted to be an OC, I thought was pretty funny.
Really crazy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of family photos in there too. I think it'd be cool if maybe next time you're in the facility we could just slide the
Just
one.
our one?
Just put it up in there, see if you ever notices
Did you,
it. So.
Miles, you brought up a good point, though, and let's actually talk about this for 30 seconds. You said he told us during the pod that he could draw up the perfect plays to gash his defense.
Yes.
Wouldn't you just develop your defense
That's
to be better
what we
so
said.
it gets gashed?
Did we even talk about that with him or after? I think we
After.
talked about it after.
Yeah.
Because he was saying that he wanted to be an OC and how he's like, I know when we're in this defense, they could really get us if they ran this. It's like, well, then why don't you stop them from doing that?
Yeah, why don't you
Fix
not
it to
run
where
that
you can't
defense?
do that. Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious.
But yeah, he was awesome, and he's actually a real awesome dude. That's about all I've got.
all I've got.
The
That's
big
all I've
dog got
got.
on the mic last night at Youngstown State celebration and had some very funny, humorous words going for a couple
There we
minutes.
go.
What was he saying?
I can't. repeat.
Can't repeat, huh?
He was screaming a lot of things, and
Yeah.
he was very happy with how Kentucky's going at the moment.
And
I
he
can
said
tell.
15-0, didn't he?
Yeah.
15-0, yeah.
Hey, it's been another pleasure. It's not often we can say that the Cats are 3-0. It's not often we can say the Cats are going to be 4-0.
You only get one
Wait,
chance a year at both of those.
Oh,
Correct.
yeah.
And it's been a while. When was it? Did we start off undefeated for how long last year? 6?
6.
And then we lost game 7
Correct.
against.
Georgia.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, it was Georgia. Yeah.
we might be there again. It's been another pleasure. Again, thank you to Brad for coming on. We'll hopefully get all the guests that we've promised.
Unlike
Unlike Will.
Unlike JJ.
Yeah, we finally got one to stay with us. But that's it, atop KS Bar. I'm going to go polish this off
Jesus Christ.
and go Bears.
Da Bears.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.